In your situation, you have a battle plan that's greater than yours. Somebody else has looked over the plan before you. And so if you start doubting, everything falls apart. You start making bad decisions.
Yeah.
So I just, that was interesting when you said that.
Yeah, and think about that. Like you know Sergeant Cunningham's story. So
yes,
like
100%.
So let me just preface this with I think what makes, if we're all unique, we're all different, everybody has their own perspective, but what makes my perspective frustratingly unique at times is that I've operated, whether it's corporate levels, my later experiences with corporations in leadership environments where you're dealing with Harvard, Ivy League, background people, Wall Street people, considered to be, CEOs, CFOs of multi-billion-dollar corporations, considered to be the elite of the elite, right? You would say
Top of the echelon.
Right. General officers considered to be the elite of the elite. I've met a few presidents. I've met a few senators. Elite of the elites, right? I have to say that at this point in my life, looking back, the best people I ever served with, I ever met, I should say, are for the most part, the people I think of are these people who dealt with these circumstances because nobody appreciates how hard they tried to do the right thing. When their life was on the line. We live in an environment where people will so easily question somebody else's perspective and what they did when they've never even been in a situation where their life was actually on the line and there's rights and wrongs that that are guiding them. Right? They've never done that. So take a guy like Sergeant Cunningham and his small squad, right, of scouts. On February 2nd or February 1st, depending upon which time zone you're in, he loses a soldier, the youngest soldier in our troop. And why? To your point, why? It's a crazy story. Like, I'll let him tell the story because, my involvement with that story was from a distance. I'm hearing the reports. We're trying to get help. Guys obviously dying, right? And we can't see, we can't hear. We didn't have drones. We didn't have that stuff. We couldn't even get an air helicopter in, a medevac out, because the whole purpose of where we were was supposed to be highly classified so that the enemy didn't know that we were doing this left hook or right hook. And think about that squad having to move on. And 18 days later, now we're going, or 20, whatever it was, we're going across the berm, going into combat. And again, nobody knew. Somebody accidentally leaked or intentionally shared the casualty rates expectations for our squadron because logistically they were trying to send us enough, all the stuff that we would need, medical supplies and things like that, to account for that, and it was staggering. And that spread like wildfire in that unit right around the same time that we lost Private Walker. And, here's a kid, and you said he, Squirt, they would call him Squirt. Right?
Sprout.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
because he was better than a bean.
Right.
Like, he was more advanced than just a bean.